Well, let's head to Montgomery County now. A man who brutally killed his ex-girlfriend's mother more than 2 decades ago was finally sentenced today. Eugene Gligor he spent 2 decades in prison for the murder of Leslie Prieur. Prieur was found brutally beaten in her Chevy Chase home back in 2001, and investigators weren't able to connect Gligor to the attack until last year. Well, DNA evidence was critical in this arrest. You might remember us telling you about this. Our Lionel Donovan is at the courthouse right now. And Lionel, how is Prieur's family reacting to this sentencing today?
Good afternoon, Lorenzo. Well, that is something that they were been asked ever since this hearing first began today. Prieur's friends and loved ones filled the courtroom, and many of them had to push through tears as the prosecutors laid out the aftermath of that brutal attack that Prieur unfortunately did not survive. Now, before handing down the sentence, the judge asked a question that's been haunting Prieur's family for 24 years. Why did this happen? When the courtroom cleared, there was still no answer. Today, the final chapter in a brutal story that began 24 years ago came to an end. Eugene Gligor was sentenced to spend the next 22 years in prison for the death of Leslie Prieur.
We wanted more, but the sentence was appropriate. It was above the Maryland sentencing guidelines, and we're happy for that.
Police found Prieur's body in her Chevy Chase home in May of 2001, badly beaten and bruised. To this day, Gligor claims he doesn't remember attacking Prieur. In court, Gligor said, quote, "The biggest regret of my life is taking Leslie's life," end quote. But we didn't learn the reason for the murder. However, Prieur's family said Gligor's words offered small comfort to decades of pain they've endured over Prieur's loss.
24 years of missing Leslie at family events. She should have attended, and my 3 children never getting to know their kind and loving aunt as they got old enough to remember her.
Gligor was arrested last year after new DNA evidence was found, and in May, he pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. Since the 2001 murder, Gligor worked a variety of jobs and was married twice. In court, prosecutors also called Gligor's remorse into question, arguing that after killing Prieur, Gligor cleaned the house to try and get rid of evidence. And in the 23 years between Prieur's death and his arrest, he never came forward. Now, after 24 years, Prieur's family is hoping that this will help bring some measure of peace.
Don't try and make sense out of it, because you never will. And I believe that. There was nothing that came out that I've ever heard, or any of us have ever heard, that would give any logic or motive whatsoever.
Now, after his 22-year prison sentence, Gligor will spend another 5 years on supervised probation. Live from the Montgomery County Courthouse, Lionel Donovan, WUSA 9.
Yeah, and hearing from Prieur's family there more than 24 years later, and it still doesn't make sense. It never will. We're thinking of them tonight. Lionel, thank you.